Welcome to another video here at Automotive Addiction. I'm Dylan and today I'm going to do a video on something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, which is a buyer's guide for the Audi RS3 8V. We have been selling 8Vs since the Pre-Facelift first came out in 2015, which is a decade now, and I am also the moderator on Audi RS Owners Club, something I'm really passionate about, and I've always wanted to do a buyer's guide on these, and what better example can we do one on? This is an Audi exclusive olive green 8V with the biggest factory specification we've ever had. So to quickly go through the 8V generations, the very first one was in 2015. That's a 2015-2016, it's called the 8V1 or the Pre-Facelift. Then 2017-2018 was 8V2. That's what this car is. These have the DAZA engine, which you may have heard before if you've been looking to RS3s. And then 2019-2020 was the DNWA engine cars. Those were slightly different with the spec that was available. They introduced a Sport Edition at that point, and those cars had OPF filters in the exhaust. So there's actually, between 2015 and 2020, 3 different generations of these. The reason in 2019 that they changed things, it visually looks the same, but they introduced a Sport Edition, is because of WLTP. Now, that's not something I'll go into depth on this video about, but that's when the European Union changed the laws about the emission systems for these cars. So those cars had OPFs or GPFs. But this car in particular is a 2018 DAZA engine without OPF, GPF, so it's not restricted by filters. This is regarded as the sweet spot of the RS3 range. Everybody that contacts us wants a DAZA engine car. As I've said before, 2017, 2018, these were produced only, and all the options on these cars were individual. There was a couple of packs, but to find a car with everything was really difficult. Where with the 19 onwards cars, it was put into a Sport Edition and a normal version, and it was easier to get the spec you wanted. Where because everything was an individual option on these, it was harder. Now, moving forward to the present day with the 8Y RS3s from 2021 onwards, you have a launch spec, a normal spec, a carbon black, a Vorsprung. These have a select amount of options in them, and there's not much, you know, you can't really configure a lot. It's, you know, with a Vorsprung, the only option is roof rails, airbags, and ceramic brakes. Well, this, everything was an option. So I want to go through this car with you, tell you what it's got, what it hasn't got, what other options there were for the same thing. So let's get into it. Now, before we start, this is a Saloon variant. The Saloon was roughly £1,000 more than a Sportback when launched. The price of this, when it was new in standard form, was £45,675, and the Sportback was £44,725 plus options. This particular car has almost £15,000 of options, and it still doesn't have everything. So we're going to run through everything with you now. So the most expensive option on this car is the carbon ceramic brakes. The carbon ceramic brakes on this car are on the front only, and they're denoted by the grey calipers on this car. This is a £4,695 option and was only available for the DAZA engine cars, so 17 and 18 cars. From 19 onwards, they discontinued this option. The RS carbon ceramic brakes are an 8-piston caliper. Now, the actual caliper is the same as the standard car, however, the pistons and seals are different and are designed for high performance and high temperatures. So they are a physically different caliper in terms of the pistons and seals as a standard car. The disc is carbon ceramic, so it's completely different to a normal steel disc, and the pads are specific for the carbon ceramic discs as well. Standard, these cars have a steel setup, still an 8-piston caliper, and there's options between black caliper, which is standard, and a red caliper, which is a £325 option. So black, red, carbon ceramic, they're all your options for the brakes. Moving on, the second most expensive option on this car is the paint. This is an Audi exclusive olive green paintwork from factory. This is actually a Porsche colour originally, and I absolutely love it. It was first introduced on very early Porsches, but now to the modern day, a lot of people do spec this or dark olive green on different Porsches. We actually had a dark olive green 8V, so this is a colour I love. This option is a £2,400 cost option, and you would have had to wait a lot longer than a normal colour to get this. The average wait time for exclusive colours is about 2 years. So the person that spec this car from new waited a long time to have this specific colour. All exclusive colours were £2,400 option. However, the standard palette, there is options for those. So Nardo Grey is a standard colour and was free. You have Glacier White, which is a £550 option, that is a metallic. Other metallics they did was Mythos Black Metallic, which was a £550 option. Florence Silver Metallic, which is a £550 option. Moving on to the crystal paints, they had Panther Black Crystal, £775 option. Aurora Blue Crystal, which was a £775 option. And also Catalunya Red Metallic, which was a £550 option. Moving on, the next thing, it's got the RS Sports exhaust. This is a £1,000 option and is noted by the black tailpipes that are on the car. What is the actual difference to the sports exhaust? It actually has an extra link pipe on the back box, which gives it extra noise when the valves are open, and it is widely regarded as the best sounding exhaust for these, standard or modified. So a lot of people retain that. The next most expensive option is the Matrix LED headlights. These are an £895 option. And this was an option which, when it came out on the spec sheet, a lot of people didn't realise what it was and a lot of people didn't spec it. But what it actually gives you is sweeping front indicators. So from factory, these have sweeping rear indicators, but the fronts are only available with Matrix headlights. In addition to that, it has Matrix beam technology. So this is 84 individual LEDs on high beam that actually dip, move, switch off portions of segments of it, so it doesn't blind people coming the other way. Matrix lights is now, you know, quite a standardized thing with performance cars, but when these come out in 2018, a car of this size with Matrix lights was a new thing. Other options available for the headlights were the standard LED headlights, so the main beam was still LED, but it didn't have the swooping indicator. That is standard on these cars. There was a £150 option for high beam assist on that system, which is a camera-based system that when you're going down the road with high beam on, it just dips the whole system on and off. It's not individual like Matrix. On the interior of this car, there is carbon inlays. These are carbon fibre inlays to all the door cards and the dashboard. That was an £850 option from new. Again, a rare option. Standard, they come with a 3D carbon look kind of thing. I really love the carbon interior, it really uplifts the interior on this car, so that's an £850 option. Other options included aluminium interior design package, and what was really unique about that package is it's an aluminium trim with like a carbon kind of pattern, but those trims are actually illuminated all the way around in terms of the door cards, so it's got ambient lighting and illumination to all the door cards, which was only available for the aluminium trim. That was £295, and no brochure explains that. It's not until we got a car in with it that we notice, oh my god, they illuminate. We wish that the carbon illuminated the same. Next up on the list is the Super Sport seats. They are £795 option and are a bucket style seat. Now, they are very, very comfortable in my opinion, and they have diamond quilted stitching. There was other options as well, which was the standard sport seats, which were not bucketed, and people say are more comfortable but visually aren't as pleasing. They were the standard seats. You could also have got electric versions of those, which are actually more expensive than the Super Sport seats at £850, and they were completely electric. Also with the seats, this has got the option of lumbar support, so the backrest moves to support your back. That is a £250 option on these seats and the standard seats. Okay, moving on to the design package on this car. This car has got gloss black styling package. So that is the grille surround, the lower splitter in the bumper, it's around the window trims, and it's also the trim on the rear diffuser and the rear spoiler. Gloss black styling package is £795 option. There was also the option on these for matte aluminium styling package. Again, that was only an option available for 17 and 18 cars. It wasn't available in 19 onwards. And the difference with that is the lower splitter, the grille surround, around the windows is a matte aluminium look, and then the spoiler is color coded. So that is how that works. Standard, these don't have either. It's a standard package, and in the standard package, the front spoiler is color coded. So if you've ever seen one for sale with a color coded front spoiler, that is the reason why. The grille surround is silver, this is on a standard spec. Round the windows is silver and the back is black. Moving on to the roof. So this car has panoramic glass sunroof, an option which is requested by a lot of people. Panoramic glass sunroof is a £1,075 option. It is sliding and tilting and is the only option for the roof. Now it's a bit of a mix with these. Some people love a pan roof, some people don't because they can creak, they can make noises. Another thing to keep in mind with this, the DAZA RS3 has an aluminium engine block which is 26 kg lighter than the pre-facelift, which was ridiculed for its handling. The handling of these are a lot better than the pre-facelift due to the lighter engine. If you fit a pan roof to one of these cars, the rough weight of a pan roof is 30 kg and it's at the top of the vehicle. So it affects how the car handles. So it almost doesn't completely negate what Audi's done, because Audi has saved weight over the front axle. This is in the middle of the car, but it negates a bit of that. So if you're very tuned into performance and how the car feels on a windy road, pan roof isn't the option for you. But if you're more interested in noise and having the pan roof open in the summer, then pan roof's for you. So this one's a bit of a funny one. This car has genuine gloss black Audi rings and RS3 badging. This wasn't actually available in 2018. This was an option available in 2019, so this is a retrofit. It's very common for people to ring Audi, order the genuine front and rear rings and front and rear RS3 badging, and retrofit it to 2018 because the factory versions don't corrode, don't peel, don't change colour, but they are quite expensive, about £35 a badge. So the only option for badging on this car was silver from factory. Moving on to the wheels. Now this car is a saloon body car. So from factory it comes with these blade wheels. So I'll go through the saloon options first. So this car has an 8.5J front wheels and 8J rears. So it was an option to have wider front wheels, and in turn you have wider front tyres, a 255 section on the front, a 235 on the back. And these are finished in, they call it anthracite and diamond cut, because the black look is actually anthracite when you put a light onto it, a metallic anthracite. This is the most expensive option wheel you can get for these at £895. You could have the same setup, wider front wheel, but in titanium look, and that was £100 less at $795. And then the other option you could have had was the standard wheels. Moving on to the mirror caps. Now, the mirror caps are an option on their own. It's not a part of the gloss black styling package. So this car has gloss black mirrors at £90 as an option. Standard, these cars come with matte aluminium mirrors, which is an RS denoting thing. You could get genuine carbon fibre mirror caps, but they were not an optional extra, they were an accessory. They were about £500, and we have retrofitted them before. Moving on to the glass on this car, every RS3 comes with the same glass. However, the rear section, so the rear window and the rear side windows on this car, privacy glass. That's a £375 option from factory and causes them to be dark tinted. Again, this is a must for most people. Another option which a lot of people don't realise is an option and is actually different to the standard system is a tyre pressure monitoring system on this car. So if you look at the tyre valves, they're metal valves and they physically look different. So these wheels have a metal valve and it has a sensor on the other side, and it records the exact temperature and pressure of each wheel, which is shown on the dashboard. So when you're driving, you can see the temperature of each tyre and the pressure of each tyre, which I think for £250 option is absolute must. But when you look at the brochure for these when they were new, it wasn't that clear, because these cars do come with tyre pressure monitoring as standard, but it's a basic system. It just tells you that a tyre is flat. I think that's a must, and a lot of people now are requesting that because most modern cars have it on every single car. Next up is the driver assistance pack. At £1,250, it's one of the most expensive options on this car. It's an option which not a lot of people ask for because they don't like the look of it in the grille. So if it's got a driver assistance pack, there's a hole in the front grille and there is a radar. Driver assistance pack gives you adaptive cruise control. So that means that it will regulate the distance between you and the car in front of you itself. Inside there's a stalk where you can change how close you want to be to the car in front of you, and it will do automatic accelerating, automatic braking, dependent on what speed you set it to. A part of the driver's assistance pack, you also get blind spot assist, which is on the side of the mirrors, and I think that's a really cool option. I like that. It tells you when a car's in your blind spot and gives you a little orange light. It also gives you emergency assist, so it will assist you if they think that there's going to be an accident. A part of the pack, it also has active lane assist, which detects the lines in the road and keeps you in lane. The way it does that is gentle steering intervention to keep you in the lane that you're in. People ask for driver assistance pack when they do loads of mileage up and down the motorway. That's where this really comes into effect. A part of the pack, you also get high beam assist, which when the high beam is on, if a car's coming the other way, you use a camera system, which is in the windscreen, to dip the beam. It also gives you camera-based traffic sign recognition. So it will pick up the cameras along the road, it'll tell you what the speed limit is. So in the driver information display, it will tell you the exact speed limit of where you are. Another option for these was folding wing mirrors. Yes, they were an option and a lot of them don't have it. So standard, they're non-folding, but they are heated. The next option after that was folding mirrors and heated mirrors, which was a £275 option. And then there's another one above that, which is folded heating and auto dimming mirrors, and that was a £375 option. This car has the latter and the most expensive option, and you can see that by looking at the glass, and there is a line all the way around it for the auto dimming function. So the stitch in this car is rock grey. There was two options for stitching, rock grey and crescendo red. Both stitching colour options were actually free. It was a choice of your own. Most people have spec'd rock grey just because it's neutral and fits with every colour of the car. Crescendo red is hard to get hold of, and a lot of people do ask for that. When you upgrade to Super Sport seats, the options you had was black leather with rock grey stitching, black leather with crescendo red stitching, and they also offered, at this point, lunar silver seats, which is a cream colour, with black stitching as well. Now, here's a few options this doesn't have inside, which is available on other cars. With rock grey stitching seats, there was an option for extended leather pack, and that gave you the door card handles in leather all the way around, including the rear, and the knee pads in the middle in leather. These were leather with rock grey stitching, and that was the only option if you had rock grey stitching seats. If you had crescendo red stitch seats, you then had the option of something called RS Design Pack. RS Design Pack was only available for 2017-18 cars and is a very desirable option that a lot of people ask for, but not many cars have. It was only available with crescendo red stitching, so the seats had to be crescendo red, and what it gave you was, just like we spoke about the extended leather pack, it gives you leather door card armrests with crescendo red stitching, but in addition, these knee pads, instead of being leather, are Alcantara with red stitching. Also, with that design pack, you've got these heater rings in crescendo red, which is a really nice touch. You also got RS specific floor mats, which say RS in them, in crescendo red stitching. And you also got, which is a big option, which a lot of people don't notice, the seat belts have a red pinstripe all down the side of them. Also inside, this car has hill hold assist, which is the button next to the handbrake. Now, if you're looking at RS3s online, you'll be able to see these on pictures. Hill hold assist was only a £95 option, but loads of them didn't have it. Some people really want this option. An option this car doesn't have is Audi smartphone interface wireless charging. So under the armrest here, there is an option of a wireless charging pad. The wireless phone charging is a £325 option that this car doesn't have as well. Now we're going to move on to a package that's on this car, which is comfort and sound pack. This is a must for everyone we speak to. So comfort and sound pack gives you the Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is a 705 watt sound system, which comprises of 14 speakers all around the car, and this car has a subwoofer in the partial shelf. A part of the comfort and sound pack also included advanced key, which is keyless start, keyless stop, and also keyless entry and exit of the vehicle. So the keys can stay in your pocket, you can open and close the door. Now this is more success, this gives you more risk to theft, so a lot of people want this, but they also want a ghost immobiliser fitted. Also a part of the pack is reverse camera, which is just as it says, a reverse camera. Again, a must for most people. This is a comfort and sound pack at £995. It's also important to note that these options were available separately. So if you see a car for sale, Bang & Olufsen, do not assume that it has comfort and sound pack. It's very popular for us to see these cars with Bang & Olufsen, keyless, and no rear camera. And I don't know why, because that combination is actually more expensive than the comfort and sound pack, but it must be down to the dealer not explaining the packages properly and them ordering it the wrong way. Part of the comfort and sound pack, which is specific to the Bang & Olufsen sound system, is you get ambient lighting on the Bang & Olufsen speakers, and you also get it here in the cup holders. So if you spec comfort and sound pack, all the Bang & Olufsen, it gives you ambient lighting. Moving on to the engine bay. Now this car is tuned, but it was an option to have a carbon fibre engine cover set, which comprised of this main cover and the inlet cover. That was a £1,000 option and is a very rare option, but we do retrofit it for a lot of people. One option this car hasn't got is magnetic ride control. Magnetic ride control is the ability for you to change how hard the suspension is inside the car. So you have a comfort, auto and dynamic setting. This car doesn't have this. Personally, it's an option which is either a must by somebody or they're really not bothered. Personally, mag ride is great, but on smaller cars you find in dynamic it's a really hard ride and comfort is too soft. So for me, the only advantage of mag ride for me is the comfort setting on the motorway, for example. Mag ride was a £1,000 option, which this car doesn't have. There was also a pack called Audi Sportback, and that's a £1,700 option, and that gave you RS Sports exhaust at £1,000 usually, magnetic ride control at £1,000 usually, and the tyre pressure monitoring system at £250 usually. So that package at £1,700 would have saved you £550. Another option this car hasn't got, which I think is frankly ridiculous, is top speed increase to 174 miles an hour. That was a £1,600 option, almost as much as Audi Sportback, which gave you an exhaust, different suspension, TPMS. In my opinion, an absolutely ridiculous option. Maybe people just spec it to say they've got it, and we have seen a few cars with it. And weirdly, we've seen cars with this spec that'll be spec from the dealer, because there is cars out there that are spec from the dealer, delivered, and they try and sell it to customers, and for some reason they spec this. That's one thing this car hasn't got. Another thing this car hasn't got, and is exclusive to the Sportback, is roof rails. So the only differences with spec with a Saloon and a Sportback is the wheel design, and on a Sportback you can have roof rails. On these you cannot have roof rails. And that's the end of the video. We hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. We hope we've educated you on what options are available for the Audi RS3 8V, specifically DAZA engine cars, 2017, 2018, and what a car to do it on. The most unique factory specification 8V RS3 we have ever had. So please like and subscribe, follow our channel, and if you're after an RS3, head over to our website, have a look, or reach out to me personally, Dylan. I deal with all the sales here at Automotive Addiction. If you want to discuss anything from buying, selling, just general advice on RS3s.